Livey, livey, live. We should have improved audio this stream as well. I think so, at least. Hello, nerds. Here's a close-up of my face, of my 34-year-old boomer face. Hello, nerds. I'm waiting for people to trickle in. Hello, Ed. Billy Jenkins says, reacting to Primeagen using NivEmax and NivEvil mode. 1. Cat in a box. Cute cat in a box. It's 6 p.m. here. Sorry, today I'm late machine today. My streaming software was a little bit silly. I install NixOS livestream when I start wearing multicolored high thighs. Nivea machine, hello. I've installed a noise gate on my audio. That should make it a lot less noisy. It should essentially go mute whenever I'm not speaking. Do you see the cute cat in a box or just cat in a box text? I see the actual. You might if you try and post it again and see if it shows up on screen. But I can see in my chat, I can see a cute cat in a box, like an actual image of a cat in a box. Also, to all the nerds in chat, say hello. I wanna talk to you. Okay. Oh, interesting. Okay, so on my screen it now says shelter in, but I can see the actual cat in a different chat. Oh no. I think the chat is better configured for like Twitch stuff. I think that's what it is. Maybe some of the YouTube. Maybe you got some special Nix emotes that the people making the software haven't come across. Time to prompt Claude chat. Well, all of you, I'm prompting all of you. See, when I said, hello chat, talk to me, you guys started talking to me, so you've been prompted. I wish. Is that regarding the thigh highs? I mean, streaming is just prompting chat, essentially. It's just one big prompt, without forests being burned down, hopefully. Claude, how much does it cost to cool the i9 14900KS? I don't know. I'm a fruit machine boy. I don't deal with these. I just do M something is all I know. Sorry, I don't know about these I something. Although, did they steal the I in the iPhone? Who knows? Lawsuit? Maybe we are the one prompting you from the beginning. I think we're all agents. We're stuck in an agentic loop. I prompt you, like, because think about it, right? Do you summon me or do I summon, like when the stream starts, do you summon me or do I summon you? How does this work? I guess I summon you, so I'm summoning you, I'm spinning you up, chat. And I prompt you with my existence, and then you prompt me back. And then it's a back and forth prompt. It's impossible to call that CPU. Damn, we can't even use RAD to call the CPU. But chat, we're gonna I was just gonna play some Mass Effect, but Primeagen has just put out a video, so we're gonna what appears to be a pretty based video. I've watched like the first minute of it. I wanted to save it. I wanted to savor it live with all of you nerds. I think it's gonna be pretty based. But yeah, tell me if the audio should be better now, right? Like whenever I'm not speaking, you shouldn't be able to hear any pretty much any background noise, right? Can someone confirm that is the case? And then we're gonna start watching we're gonna watch a video, maybe 2 videos, and then we're gonna play some because one of you has also sent me a video that we could watch. And we might watch it. We'll see. but I'm prompting you. Can you tell me if the audio is good? Is it cleaner? You're being prompted. Speakeasy machine sub. Hello, gamer tag. But yeah, once someone confirms that the audio is a lot better, as we can get started on the video. How's it going, gamer tag? How's your Monday? It is Monday. I lose track of time, being a freelancer. I didn't notice a difference. Okay, so if I go, so I'm speaking, so you'll be able to hear me, but if I go quiet, can you still hear stuff in the background when I'm quiet? Currently prompting Claude to implement me a temperature-based limiter to the AMD GPU kernel driver, so it clocks the VRAM and GPU clock lower than VRAM when VRAM goes above 60 Celsius. That way, hopefully my 9070 XT will last a decade instead of 2 years. Burning through hardware, literally. Oh, there's no fan because I turned that off. Yeah, when quiet, no background noise. Perfect. Perfect. Okay, good. We're becoming professional. Okay, so let's switch over to this meme right here. So if I do this... Okay, perfect. So apparently knowing how computers work is cool. Or so says Mr. Paulson. Is that his surname? Man, I already got 2 ads. You should get YouTube Premium. If you look in the top left corner, it says YouTube. It says Premium, Portugal. It's actually I pay for like Premium Lite or something. It's worth it because it supports the people that I watch as well. Like a portion of what you pay goes to the creators as if you were to watch ads. That's why you should try out Turing Complete. It's still on the list to check out. People recommend so much stuff to me. I'm making my way through it. Morbius says, "Hello man, how are you doing?" Hello Morbius. We're about to watch a Primeagen video, so I'm doing fantastic. Too expensive. That's fair. That's fair. I used to be a young lad as well. Had no money. Oh, reacting. Yes, we're doing the lazy content. Then will you react to my game too? It depends on the game, maybe. We're not doing links. Yeah, we don't do. We just got bonked by the. Interesting. I think they updated chat. His comments disappeared. Weird. I didn't do that. I think the bot did that. Compiling the kernel takes a long time. It depends on your machine, I suppose. i9 14900 SYU. Again, I only know M's. M1, M2, M3, M4, M5. That's about it. JK. No links is on Game Jolt. So if you send me, if you go to my YouTube, I don't know if I should, let me just, github.com, speak machine. So, if you check out my YouTube, my email should be in the About section. If you send me a email with your game, I will consider it. I'll have a look, and I might play it. I might look at it, depending on whether it's proper for the channel or not. Hey Papa, hello BTKB. I've read your book Protectorate. Would you like some feedback? I would 100% love some feedback. You can leave it in chat if it's not too long. If not, you can maybe leave like a very brief feedback in chat. If you want to send me something longer, you can email me. I'm thinking of switching to Linux as a gamer. Which Linux should I switch to? There's loads of distros. I mean, I guess Ubuntu is like the most newbie friendly one. Just start with Ubuntu and you can make your way from there. Compiling LLVM versus compiling generic Linux. I'm thinking of, I'll leave it in chat, a brief one. Perfect. I'm curious what your thoughts are, and then we'll get started on the video. Where's my stuff? Oh, it's here. No Ubuntu, the email is a trap. I'm pretty sure we have a bunch of traps in chat. No, don't go Ubuntu. No Ubuntu. Look, Ubuntu is a decent, like a newbie recommendation. I wouldn't use necessarily Ubuntu either. But if for someone getting into, like, listen, if you try and get someone who's never done it to do Gentoo or something, they're not gonna do that. Ubuntu is like the most normie friendly distro out there. I think it's a pretty good first distro recommendation. Although I think my first distro was elementary. Bazite. Just compile the kernel from scratch, why not? Do Bazite, Mint, Zorin instead of Ubuntu, Bazite for gaming and Mint, Zorin for everything else. Ubuntu was decent. It's a cluster run by idiots. It's utterly broken for everyone. It's not normie friendly. I guess Mint could also be a good one. My first distro was Arch. Wow, that's pretty cool. I tried elementary years and years ago because it looked like Mac OS. I thought, hey, it looks like Mac OS, perfect. I literally Googled the most beautiful Linux distros, and that's what came up. Although it's Arch based still, I don't know. It's kind of gone a bit mainstream, hasn't it? I think that's how it works. I use Arch too, by the way. Very based. Fedora or Arch derivatives are the way to go for gaming. Debian packages are too outdated. Isn't SteamOS based on Arch? My second distro was Cubes, then Arch again, and finally Nix Uwu. I'm thinking of giving Nix a real try. I think that might be fun. Also, I'm looking at, because I think it was you who recommended like Nix Darwin. So I use Homebrew on macOS, but I might be switching over to what's it called, Nix packages. Gentoo is good for gaming. Interesting. How are you doing, you bloody sausage? Hello, Birdie. I'm doing fantastic. I had some terrible food today, but like in this weight loss process that I've been doing, it's generally like good progress, but sometimes I slip up and I make some dumb mistakes. I ordered Domino's pizza yesterday, and I felt completely disgusting afterwards. It felt really good for like 3 bites, and then it felt disgusting. And today I had chocolate, and I feel even more disgusting. I can't wait. I bought some liver. I can't wait to have some like liver and steak tomorrow and just get away from, like, I'll be good for a few weeks and I'll have like a couple of days of bad eating, and I go back to good eating. Nix Darwin is a really move from Brew. Not gonna lie, many people I've seen on Mac recommended. Apparently, from what I could tell, Nix Darwin is a lot better at restoring settings just a lot more easily. Like, Brew's really good. Like, I have a Brew list with all my apps, most of them, but apparently Nix Darwin is a lot better at like restoring. I like the idea of restoring my machine with a script, right? And Nix Darwin seems to be better for that. Was that a seagull call? Maybe. I'm in Porto, so there's a lot of seagulls. You look like you lose weight. Thank you, I have. It's overall I'm losing weight, but sometimes you slip up. Yeah, go Arch, best hardware compatibility, just don't mess with Flatpaks and don't install anything from the AUR LOL. I've heard some crazy things about AUR. Fedora has good hardware compatibility too, but it's Fedora. Oh, this is the review for my book. Overall, excellent book. It's hard to believe it's your first book. Cons: I would have liked more word building. I don't want to add spoilers here. but I thought the world could have done with some more detailed world building, both the underground world and overworld. In places, the dialogue didn't fit the theme. Prose very well placed, really good change for POVs, keep the story's chapter fresh. I found it hard to put down. For a new author, the book is an easy 4 out of 5. Looking forward to a sequel. Thank you, BTKB. Very kind. That's generally in line with what I've been told by other people as well. I was afraid of making the book too long, but I should have done more world building. I have a local wiki on my machine, which covers multiple books already generally, and so there will be a lot more world building in the coming books. But thank you, I really appreciate it. It's very kind. Also, yeah, I think my dialogue not fitting the theme in some places. I think you're right. It's a skill to be able to put yourself in the head of the characters. I do have to work on my dialogue in some places. But thank you. Tickle tickle. Because it's using the Nix module system, which makes the configuration declarative, so it's like using NixOS almost. That's my understanding. GUIX system. When is the Netflix live adaptation dropping? Any second now. Speak, when will switching to BSD? Me eat word no good. I might try based or I might try Nix. We'll see. But we should probably get started on the video. People are waiting very patiently. Welcome back to 34-year-old boomer ranting on the internet in Airbnb in Porto. The Primeagen has put out a video which appears to be very based. Knowing how computers work is cool. I've been talking about this for quite some time now, but I want to see what he has to say about this. The dialogue is 90% there. It's just the odd place. If it's not too much trouble, can you send me an email and give me some example? If it's not too much trouble, if you know roughly where it is, can you send me an email and give me a few examples, just so that I have a better idea? But yeah, chat, the audio should be perfect. Let me know if it's not, and I'll change or balance things out.
So I was, surfing on the old Twitters, and I saw this tweet said, wrote a practical introduction to SimD using real examples from Ghosty. And I thought, hey,
SimD? SimD's nuts?
hey, that's pretty cool. But here's the thing, is that often my projects, I don't really feel like need SimD anywhere. In fact, I took a flame graph of the game I'm making, and only 0.83% of the entire time, I'm actually in the update function. I don't...
It's funny. I've had multiple people email me about my spell checker, telling me that I should implement SimD into it. I'm currently talking to a real engineer who's gonna... We should do a video soonish where we go through, also a base reference, where we should go through the code and he's gonna help me upgrade it. So we might implement SimD. SimD's nuts. Who knows? We'll have to see. Reacting to blog post R stream. Yes, that's what the internet is now. You probably could jam the Marco for Naivimia. Naivimia is such a good meme. Hashimoto mentioned, yes. Simple data, multiple instructions. SimD. Yeah, you probably don't need it 90% of the time. Isn't it single instruction, multiple data? Spell checker is perfect SimD candidate. Okay, SimD, but what about AVX 5112? Is that a spaceship? There is a lot of more affordable options for you before you need SimD. Well, let's see the argument that Mr. Hashimoto makes. The man who changed his surname after his company, of course.
Really feel like I have a huge need, to learn the old SimDs. Well, whatever. Hey, cool post though. But then the next day,
I'm just surprised he's yet to say SimD's nuts. Is it just me? Like, he'd be the first person to say that, surely.
Hey, this got posted. My SimD post was on Hacker News, and the general hostility towards understanding how computers work and owning your own outcomes is really depressing. A large amount of people seem to simply have the attitude that they hope someone else will pay their bills for them. It can't be that bad, right? The vast majority of developers have zero need for learning SimD. Why mislead them and make them feel like to be a real developer, you have to know it?
See, here's the thing. I don't think it's the case of like you should know X or Y or Z to be a real developer. I just think that you should be interested in this stuff. You don't have to go deep on everything. Like, I don't really want to go deep on UI development because I'm not that interested. But you should still kind of generally understand what's going on, and you should go deep on things that you're interested in. Purely, like, you can even ignore like the monetary aspect. It's more like, do you want to enjoy yourself in your work? Because in my experience as a 34-year-old boomer, if you want to enjoy what you do every day, if you want to have fun, you should have somewhat of an exploratory mindset. You should, if you only want to learn the absolute bare minimum, you're going to struggle, you're going to suffer. Every learning opportunity instead will become a punishment. Oh, I gotta learn this now. Oh, instead you should be more open-minded. You should be like, oh, what's this? What's this thing? Oh, that's really cool. Just go on Wikipedia, computer science, and just read about random stuff. Why not? What do you have to lose? I did some C for multiple years. I could also help you with your type checker. We can talk about it. I've first promised this engineer that we're going to go through it. Once that version is out, we can talk. AVX 512 is an advanced vector extension for, I believe, 512-bit something. Okay. In my humble opinion, kind of agree with that point. We shouldn't need to write performant code. The compiler should be smarter. Well, it's not about... It's just like, if you want to enjoy your life, it's best to have almost like a childish... You know, like that video that I did, where I... was it like a... Linus Torvalds is a man-child. Fantastic thumbnail, if I say so myself. You should have a childish mindset. You should have like a childlike mindset, an exploratory mindset, a mindset where everything is interesting and you want to learn about it. That's how you have fun. Even if you don't want to have a job, but you need to because you want to support yourself, if you do the bare minimum every day, you're going to hate your time there. But if you have a learning mindset, it becomes a lot more fun. If you didn't implement your own custom CPU architecture supporting AVX 512 on a breadboard, you are not a real engineer. I think I've been destroyed just there. It's very hard to make a compiler really optimized for SIMD though. It will do its best, but it's a real challenge. Easier to do it yourself, I found. If you don't have $1,000 for 32 gigabytes of DDR5, you're not a real 32 gigabyte DDR5 user. That does not work when you have a project to submit or a grade to get. I'm not saying that you should necessarily always learn on the job. Like, you should be interested. You should generally have a learning mindset. Cope. If a human can do SIMD, then another human can write optimal code generation, aka compilers. Torvalds looks like he got the Google cap. It is a bit googly, isn't it? You haven't done much SIMD. NVIDIA LTX 6090 when? It's actually NVIDIA 6769. I think that's the actual model. Making a CPU is quite fun, by the way. Reading random wiki topics is really fun, yes. 32 gigabytes of DDR5. I have 96 gigabytes of DDR5. My god, this man's got bread.
What? So, an article about SIMD is making people feel like, what am I reading? So obviously at this point, I had to go and actually learn SIMD because, you know, whether you like this or not, I've never actually used SIMD in any sort of practical use case. I've understood what it was. I've called functions that have been SIMD'd themselves. I have just never personally hand wrote anything to do with it. So I thought, hey, given the fact that Hacker News hates it, I probably need to give this a shot and learn about it. So today you're going to A, have to learn about it, but B, we got some hot takes, okay? So I got to talk about this whole thing. Because honestly, why are you misleading them, Mitchell? Also, just in case anyone's wondering, I'm not going to make the joke that everybody thinks I'm going to make involving SIMD, okay? It's not going to happen. And I'd also like to say thank you to the sponsors.
Okay, I am disappointed and my day is ruined.
Vibe coders, silence. Someone who's worked in enterprise is speaking. You know, simple OAuth sign-in's not that bad to program. For real enterprise applications that need single sign-on, passkeys, user management, roles and permission, and
When a black queen speaks, we stay silent and we listen.
enterprise readiness and passwords and recovery, that's a little bit more difficult. And that is where WorkOS comes in. WorkOS is trusted by a lot of the top companies, OpenAI, Anthropic, Cursor, and a whole lot more. But not only that, it's free for your first 1,000,000 users. So that means for you, that is 999,999 free seats available. Pretty much no matter what backend you have chosen, there is an SDK available for you. So go check out WorkOS at workos.com. Links in the description. So the article is called Everyone Should Know SIMD. Now, obviously, this became the immediate focal point. The fact that he said everyone should know SIMD, people just got pissed off. How dare you say it?
People got annoyed. It's almost like saying, I don't know, like learn C or be left behind. It's like he gets it. It's, if you want to get attention on the internet, computer programming is finally dying. Web dev is over. Get out now. He gets it. What's this? An 11-hour video where I read the entire NeoVim user manual? Who would do that? He gets it. The title is a little bit incendiary because that's how the internet works. Maybe elaborate what is a learning mindset and make a video out of it on stream. More dollarinos for you, Mr. Creamer. I actually will do that. To optimize a compiler for SIMD, you have to change the way your code is typically written, focusing on data pipelining more than traditional data logic. I have 1 gigabyte of GDDR5. Sometimes it's cool to implement something without standard library. It makes it a bit harder. Pre-watched confirmed. I watched like a minute of it. I am a 6'8" black lesbian. Deal with it, white boy. I will deal with it. Not in that. Sounded weird. I accept, Birdie. I accept the fact that you are a 6'8" black lesbian queen. I did some SWOR algorithm for fast byte permutation some days ago. It was kind of cool. I have no idea what that is. Sounds very cool though. Can't wait for Primeagen to copyright strike the stream and therefore destroy the Nivemia, Nivemax, Niveval mode, Nivea Lotion X6090 jokes. They will be lost forever. In Haskell, in Haskell? Man, that's pretty based. I'm a 1-inch free black lesbian empress. Deal with it. What's the precum mindset? Listen, chat. That's a wholesome. It's a Romanian word. It means like, as in like something, right? So that's not a bad word. It's a Romanian word. Wait, why the code I send was filtered out? I don't know. I did send a part of the code, but chat hides it. I think anything that looks like a code injection might get pre-filtered.
Everyone is just like, okay, here's a great concept, and honestly, it would be really good the more people know when programming, right? I don't think anyone should ever argue that. Everybody should try and attempt to know as much as possible so they can make the best quality software out there. And so when someone says, hey, everybody should know this, it's like, okay, I mean, Maybe I should know this. But instead, people were genuinely upset about that. Good article, but I wouldn't start off with a bold sentence such as SimD can be simple to understand. And there you go. That's the second big one. People hate the fact that he calls it simple. Just read the article though. SimD has a reputation for being complex. I've met many a good software engineers who dismiss it as something too complex to learn or a niche optimization meant only for the highest performance software, not useful in everyday programming. I think that's wrong. SimD can be simple to understand. And there's a lot of versions of that comment. It was all over Twitter as well. Like, how could you say that everybody should know something? Or how could you say it was easy or simple to understand? It's complex. And it's funny because by saying it that way, his first line was, in fact, kind of made obvious. So me, who's never really understood what SimD was, I figured, you know what? Why don't I learn what SimD is? Why don't I give it a try, come up with a quick problem, and see if I can make something disproportionately faster, and then I can judge. Is SimD difficult? Is it some magical beast, or really was that all that bad at all? All right, so let's go to the whiteboard. Oh, gosh. Oh, God, Dario, stop doing that, Dario. Don't do that. Okay, here, hold on. That's the wrong one. So
Chat, we're gonna get a bit of a GIMP straight lines art.
thought, what could be a good SimD project? Well, SimD, you want to do some action that you need to do over a long for loop, but you have to do like the same comparison a bunch or some same operation over and over again. At least that's what I thought in my head. So I thought, okay, a good project would probably be, I have these long log files that I want to be able to find the individual logs out, and I want to be able to go over this whole list. And you just generally have to keep doing this over and over and over again. And it doesn't really matter how long this line is. It just matters that, yes, we just have to do this over and over again up until the, /n. And again, I'm not going to make the joke that everybody thinks I'm going to make. So I figured I would just create a program that would find each one of these new lines.
That's good. He's turned a new leaf. He's gonna keep a wholesome chungus. He's gonna keep a very wholesome chungus. What's the precum neovem? Listen, look. Let me show you. Right. Duck.ai. Right. Dă-mi un exemplu într-o propoziție pentru cuvântul precum, right? This is a Romanian lesson for you, chat. Precum ploaia udă pământul, așa a venit și vestea neașteptată. Just like how the rain wets the earth, I guess. So has the unexpected news arrived. The order's kind of mixed up, hence me sort of struggling. But that is a use of precum. With code precum. 30% off all Nivea products. Very based. GDDR5 was announced 2007. Did you precum the stream chat? A bunch of Autismo Haskell code from Ed. I can see quite a lot of the code. I'm not sure how much you can see, but I can see quite a bit of it here. Precum simple code. Testing which lines are going to show up. Waiting for Speak to buy cream.it domain. I'm pretty sure that's taken. And sell Nivea products there. You can navigate a shop only using Vim motions. And the more efficient your motions, the better the deal. I like that. Time to prompt Claude. Is chat not refreshing? Did I make chat crash? Did you? No, it's working. Your channel is private. Yeah, I guess that's technically true. If you speak Romanian and I close my eyes, it sounds like I'm in Middle Earth. Romanian is kind of funny. It's sort of, be careful with the precum there, big guy. I know, I gotta be so careful. But it's a Romanian word. It's basically Latin. It was like 5 minutes ago. Okay. Chad, if you want me to read some Romanian to you, I can do that.
and be able to parse out this delicious JSON. I dropped the actual parsing of JSON, but instead just looked for the new lines because I wanted to see how much faster could I make the new line looking. Next, I actually had to learn what SIMD was. In the most simple sense, effectively, you can operate, instead of on a singular value, say X, you operate on a vector, right? So pretend you have a vector of X, Y, Z, you could operate on all of these at once. Let's just say you wanted to compare, say, finding a new line. Well, what I'd have to do is I'd have to load up a vector with 3 new lines, kind of like my example, and then in one single CPU operation, now this is not a single CPU cycle, CPUs are like magic to me, I have no idea what's going on underneath there, but I'm just gonna call it an operation. A single operation can compare this vector to this new line, and then it can produce out for you a new vector that's going to say, hey, this is the new lines. No new line in the first position. There was a new line in the second position. There was no new line in the third position. So I can actually take that and go, okay, was there a new line? Oh, there was. That means I need to find out where the new line was within my vector, and then I can return that. And that's because SIMD literally stands for single instruction, multiple data.
Okay, Base Frog, let me just remove that. Let me just remove that comment. It's that is an incorrect. There's an incorrect use of the word because it means just like. It doesn't mean that. So we're gonna go ahead and remove that quickly. Prime never carved a CPU out of silicon crystal. Not a real programmer. SIMD speeds us up, processing just by oh my god, all at once and wrong. Oh my god, bro.
Data. And you can see
I should never have watched that Romanian video.
that right here. You can see the fact that I have multiple data and I'm doing a single instruction. Are these equal? So I didn't really know how to do that, but I just followed exactly what was inside the blog post. First, I have to create the constants and initialize any vector stuff. I have to loop over the input one vector chunk at a time. I perform the comparison. I reduce it down to something that I can actually use. And then I just handle the remaining bits at the very, very end. That actually feels, well, pretty straightforward. So this is the naive implementation. This is how I would have implemented it if I did not use SIMD. I'm gonna go over the entire data starting at some point, and I'm gonna go and just say, hey, are you a new line? If you are, then this is the spot. Else I say, hey, no new line found, the end. This is your very classic index of approach. Then, of course, I just created something to look for all the new lines and just go over all of them. I'm sure there's a better way of testing the code. This was good enough for me. And when I had run the program, as you can see here, it would take about 1.54 seconds. Okay, not that long. And this is the SIMD version. Yes, it is a lot larger. It's a little bit more tedious to do, but when you break it down into the 5 steps, it's actually pretty simple. Step 1, the broadcast part. Broadcast just means I need to create that constant. Remember how I talked about this new line constant? Well, I do it right here. I go, okay, I need to create effectively a byte array that's lanes big. Lanes in this case is how many bytes can I fit in my SIMD operations. SIMD, it turns out to be kind of CPU dependent. My CPU can do 256 bits of SIMD operations, so I can do effectively 16 of them at a time if they're byte wide, meaning they're 8 bits wide. So this is my little array, 16 8-bit items. Then I just simply create 16 new line bytes. And whatever value that is, I think it's hex A. Hex A, new line. Okay, I'm a genius. Actual genius of useless information, of course. Number 2, instead of iterating, say, 1 byte at a time, I iterate lanes byte at a time. Lanes, of course, is how big my SIMD operation is. In this particular case, it's 16. So I'm doing 16 bytes at a time instead of 1 byte at a time. From there, I actually just create my little value array. I just slice off 16 bytes from my array and go, okay, you are now a SIMD vector. From there, I just simply see, are these equal? I take all my new lines and compare it to all my values in like one single operation. Instead of doing that little tight for loop, it's just, I'm doing 16 operations at once. It's kind of cool. Extract most significant.
Interesting. So is this... I'm not quite, because I'm reading chat at the same time, so trying to understand something like SIMD whilst reading chat, talking about Romanian words such as precum. So would this be useful for a spell checker? Would this be useful to basically check words in a massive list? So like if I want to check if this word is misspelled. Instead of doing essentially a for loop and iterating through a file of like 1 million words, would SIMD help me traverse or pass this file a lot faster and thus save a bunch of operations? Is that essentially it? SIMD is easy. Basically, it does operations over array and word are character arrays. And word are character arrays. Okay, so a bunch of code from Ed. Chat keeps jumping around. I ordered 5 liters of pure alcohol. What I would do with it. Man, Felix Cloutier. The website is the best to find x86 instructions. Mistakes were made. Awful language. I assume you mean Odin? You should check it up. Going to have dinner now. I just like Mexican food. Ranch with Mexican food. We could see at the bottom it's Odin. My favorite instruction is, not going to read, GF2P8AFFIN9VQB. Let them come. I will call my children after a SIMD. You could do Levenstein distance with SIMD. Yes, SIMD would make it faster. So I've heard of the distance algorithms and stuff, but I wanted to make my own algorithm essentially. So if it's an English text, we should use just like an AVX512, make it mega faster. I wonder if cat boost would be useful for a spell check. I don't know what cat boost is. You missed a bunch of messages. I missed a bunch of your code, but there's no point in reading it because I don't know. I mean, I don't know Haskell, so I don't know what it does. So there's no point in me reading it.
And bits just really checks for any values that has a 1 in it, since all my values should equal 0 if there's no new lines. If there is a new lines, one of them will equal a 1. It will grab out that most significant bit, and by doing a cardinality check, if it's not 0, if they're not all zeros, then I have at least 1 1. Then I need to go there and find that 1 1. Then I have to manually go through my little SIMD vector, and I have to go, okay, which one of you are 1? And then the first one I find, that's where the new line is. If I don't find a new line, I just add lanes to the end of end. So I'm just incrementing it 16 at a time. So at the very end, you have to do this, which is kind of funny. It's called this.
Lanes? Does he know? Let's just say that there's something coming up in the very near future to do with lanes. Let's just say that. Cat boost is an algo dog boost when new line. The best way to optimize your code would be to get a baseline benchmark, to be honest. By trying a spell check, maybe like a 1 gigabyte buff free, 1 GB, I don't know what that is.
Scalar tail, which makes a lot of sense if you think about it. Let's just say you have 7 bytes remaining. Well, you can't create something that's 16 long from 7 bytes. Okay, so then instead I have to just manually walk the remaining 7. And by doing it that way, if I simply just run this, you can see it's like massively faster. And so yes, am I going to be using SIMD anytime soon?
Sorry, gigabit, you're right, not gigabyte. Gigabit. Buffer, you're French, aren't you? So it's buffer instead. Side topic, haven't seen you in a while. The weight loss is visible on your neck, though not comparing with the breastfeeding angle. It's a little bit like that. Thank you. Yeah, the weight loss has been progressing nicely. A buffer is just a word for a big array. Interesting. I will have to talk about that once the new version is implemented by the engineer that I'm talking to. We can then talk about it. Not in French. It would be mémoire tampon. A memory tampon? Sorry, we're making fun of Romanian, like words like precum in Romanian. Meanwhile, bro's got mémoire tampon. I need to go have a good day, Space Cream. Thank you, Birdie. A memory tampon. Okay.
Soon, Probably not. I have virtually no problems with performance inside the game I'm making. But now I kind of know the shape I need to have. And now I see why I'm going to want to use structure of arrays versus array of structures, because there is a huge possibility I could have some mega wins and some future performance optimizations. And honestly, it kind of feels cool. I have to say, it does feel kind of neat. So should every...
It does feel neat. Like when you have... Ooh, aeroplan. Aeroplan. Waiting for the airplane to pass. Hold up, chat. Give me a second. Waiting for the airplane to pass. Okay, airplane's getting quieter. When I first made a massive improvement to my spell checker, and I went and it got like 15 times faster or something. It's a good feeling. It feels good. French compiler terms are horrible. Yeah, memory tampon. Amazon MTurk versus Claude Code, who would win? I've never used either. Check bytoduck. Okay, I hope that's a wholesome site. Avion de ligne. Avion de ligne. Is that plane of line? Is that what it means?
Everybody know about SimD? Yeah, why not? It took me an hour to go really learn everything and program up an example and debug it a little bit. Not that bad. You can do ChatGPT can tell you all about what you need to do. It's actually pretty straightforward. You can ask infinity questions. At the end of the day, which one would you rather have? Maybe a...
I have to do this. Explica-mi, right? I hope you can hear me. Explică-mi conceptul de SIMD în programare folosind cuvântul precum. Let's see. SIMD, Single Instruction Multiple Data, e un mod de a programa în care o singură instrucțiune lucrează pe mai multe valori deodată, în paralel, folosind același tip de operație pentru un grup de date. Gen, Okay, that's another word, chat. FAC is fuck. Acum fac același calcul pentru 8 numere, nu unul singur. This backfired really bad. But it hasn't... Where's the word precum? Has it not used the word precum? Bro, have you not? It literally didn't even use the word, and it got me into trouble because of this word. Unbelievable. AGI any second now. Yeah, but I guess plane of line makes no sense. No, it doesn't, does it? French. But listen, it's a different language. Why precum SIMD? Why not precum AVX 512? That's a good question. That's fair. That's a fair point.
Little too much knowledge that you don't often use or don't need to use, and you just simply kind of disregard it, but you have it kind of floating in the back of your head, like Dijkstra's shortest algorithm, just floating in the back of my head, okay? Priority queue. Or would you rather be this guy? The vast majority of developers have zero need for learning SIMD. Why mislead them? At the end of the day, I'd rather work with the person that wants to know more. I'd rather be the person that wants to know more. And if I never use SIMD and knowing this was completely useless throughout my entire life, I'm happy I know it. The name.
What's his name?
Did you know that Go 1.6 right here, as you can see right here, new experimental SIMD, Arch SIMD package. Did you know that Go now has SIMD support? Obviously, you know what that means, right? That means we can SIMD's nuts on your face again.
Okay, I'm happy with that. That was a good... But isn't that a great point? That would you not rather work with someone who wants to know stuff? Well, let me switch POV for a second. Would you not rather work with someone that's curious, Would you not rather work with someone who's full of life, who's full of vim, who wants to know stuff, who's bright-eyed and bushy-tailed? Or would you rather work with the boomer who has been there for 69 years and he's like, oh, I don't want to learn anything new? Which one would you rather work with? Because I know who I'd rather work with. Spoiling us with these words as a foreplay for our effect, yes. I think a line from Avion de Ligne means the big lines like, long travels. Interesting. So the Boeing or Airbus. Yes, these are the people I like to keep around. Precisely. Yeah, like, if you're working with someone and they have to learn something new, would you rather they go, ooh, that's interesting. Let me just remove that. Ooh, that's interesting. What's this SIMD's nuts thing? Or would you rather them go, oh, I gotta learn something new. Oh. I know who I'd rather work with. It's just depressing otherwise, yes. Good day, everyone. It seems I made it to the very end of the reaction to Prime. Don't worry, Alas. I'm gonna make it into a video. We're gonna monetize this. I'm gonna monetize chat like crazy. We're gonna make a video. It's gonna be great. You'll be able to watch it as a video, probably tomorrow. I worked for the government. None of my co-workers had the cognitive ability to reason or learn. Yes. People in government aren't exactly super keen to learn. Full of vim. Are they going to ACW? You bang me. Okay, I'm too like. What does that even do? But I like the idea of what happened to my chat. Why did chat get wiped? I like the idea of using vim as a word. I know it's a random big vim, but does it do anything? But I like the idea of using vim as a word to mean like having vim for life. Full of vim. I want to know more words like precum and SIMD's nuts. Are you giving money back to T-Chat? I don't know what that means. Random big vim command. Also, chat disappeared again. I saw that. Senior plus engineers in my company are mostly AI-pilled and have no intention of learning now. I'm sorry to hear that. See, I mean it because I'm doing it as ASMR. As whisper ASMR. Senior plus engineers in my company are mostly AI build and have no intention of learning now. T-Chat crashed again, LOL. RIP chat. Evil mode, but it won't fit. I kind of regret watching the Romanian video now. By the way, you missed that. I think line from Avion de Ligne means the big lines like, long travels. I literally read that out. I think. I read it out, right? But yeah, chat's a bit buggy, so if I do miss something, it's likely not on purpose. So the Boeing Airbus, I definitely read that line. Boeing Airbus, not airplanes. I'd rather work with someone who likes and wants to learn, even if they are more opinionated. If they, is that like Zem, can defend their position with logic, not based on emotion. Did I get an ad during it? Maybe? That's funny. Oh, it's always funny getting an ad when the streamer responds to you. It's always funny. YT is going after ASMR. Watch out. Really? Do they not think it's wholesome chungus? I guess maybe they're arguing that it's a bit adult, maybe? Question mark? Anyway, I think you should learn. I think it's good to learn. I think it's good to have a childlike mentality, to be curious, because that makes you fun to be around. As the economy gets worse, as there's less money to go around, if people start getting fired more, blah, 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 whatever, You want to be likable. You want to be the person that when they're discussing who they want to fire behind the scenes, you want to be the person who they go, no, we can't get rid of that guy. He's really cool. Like, knowledge will help you to some degree, but being likable might just save your bum. The name is Vim for Life Machine. Okay, that was Primeagen video. Don't worry, it's safe side, cool. Emax Torvalds is a guy kid. Do I just like dinner? Yes, I do just like dinner. Oh my god, bro. I kind of regret watching that video. Okay, chat. So one of you nerds has sent me. I did initially watch a part of this video. So one of you nerds sent me this video via email. Oh, you can't see it. Let me just professional streamer. So one of you guys sent me this video via email. It might be fun to watch. We can't fire this guy. He never used just like in Romania. He did not went to it. I'm not gonna go on websites during a stream. I do have to check them out. But if you send me the link either on email or Discord, I can have a look at it. Office politics, too much headache. Go away with that likable stuff. No matter what I do, they always complain about me. It's better to be likable than not to be likable. That's you don't trust me? I don't trust anyone. If my sister sent me a link, I wouldn't go on it on stream. We should have Zitron watch party. I've invited him on the Based Academy. I've sent out a few emails to get some people on the Based Academy. It might be really cool. We'll see. i9 5900 KS versus 5 green radiators and a pump. Trying to keep that CPU nice and cool. But yeah, this video might be fun to watch. Let's give it a go. Let's see. Let me just do an intro. Okay, chat. Come here, listen. One of you nerds has sent me a video to watch. AI Bubble. You can never trust any AI ever. Eli the computer guy. Let's see what this video is about. I've been studying software graphics for a while now, and for a few days now I've been thinking about how SIMD could be useful in this endeavor, and then this article comes out. It's fate. It was meant to be. See ya, Billy. It was meant to be. But we're gonna watch this. And after we're gonna play some R effect.
I think that's where we come to the crux of the problem. You can never trust any of this ever. There is an actual...
the based frog in my chat is already triggered. He's already typing away furiously, telling me about how the models are actually very trustworthy. I'm waiting for the comment, based frog.
Question with Amazon of will they burn through the entire population of people willing to work in warehouses? Because these systems are trying to optimize to such a degree. The bigger problem for Meta is just Mark Zuckerberg has just been a disaster for the past number of years. Managers don't actually know why their employees are valuable. And so whether we're talking about AI, whether we're talking about work from home, whether we're talking about any of the number of issues we're currently dealing with, one of the core problems we come back to is many companies and many bosses don't actually know the value of the employee.
Hi, I'm Isaac, and on the tech report with me today.
Vinny's bonking the spammers. Thank you, Vinny. I like your cadence and color of your voice. It's just like ASMR. Thank you, pseudo wrestler. I was born with a speech impediment, which is why I had to work on my voice. You can trust the models, bro. I precum them. I don't know. Today, Gemma 12 billion failed me to ask me tomorrow. Vraya doesn't have a help flag? Is that true? Did I forget to do a help flag? There's no way I forgot to do a help flag, did I? Wait, where did I even put the... I'm not gonna... It's derailing, but I'll have to have a look. I must have moved the flags. But have you used Gemma for 12.000001B? It never fails. Yes, that's true. I can confirm that from experience.
Today is Eli, the computer guy. Thanks for being here.
Yeah, always happy to be here.
Vinny's doing a little Twitch dinosaur emote dance. Very wholesome, Chungus.
So Meta is facing another lawsuit after using AI to flag employees for layoffs, surprisingly backfired, or at least that's what a lawsuit claims. In that lawsuit,
That must feel so good. Your livelihood being dependent on the output of some clanker. Crazy.
it says that those who had taken protective leave, so things like paternity leave or disability accommodation, that sort of stuff, were disproportionately fired because managers relied on an AI system, or system of a few different AI tools that they say anyway, flagged them as underperforming just because they weren't at work. What do you think? What did you think when you saw that story?
When I saw the story, there's two thoughts. The non-technical thought I do think we have to consider here is that Meta was firing a tremendous number of people. So this isn't that 50 people were fired and 25 of them were on maternity leave. This was 8,000 people were fired. So realistically, to be clear with this, you could have this kind of outcome just simply by that number of people being laid off. The other thing that I was thinking about with it, though, if you start looking at it from a technical standpoint, one of our issues when we start talking about this whole concept of artificial intelligence is the question of what sources of data are these systems going to? So if their AI system is tracking people using their computers, and that's all it looks at, then somebody who's on leave or going to doctor's appointments or whatever else would be flagged as not being performative. One of the interesting things to think about.
Performative? Like a performative male? Man, I don't like this future. I don't like this future of like some clanker takes a bunch of data about you and decides that, oh, you haven't been performative as a performative male. I mean, I think I'm safe because I'm, as a performative male myself, I think I'm safe. But it just takes things out of context. What does it look like? Lines of code? Oh, you had too many dentist appointments this year. We're going to have to let you go. True, we just need more parameters in the model, yes. Okay, so there's a test sentence for the spell checker. It tried to correct A. Thank you for pointing that out. That's interesting. I think it tried to correct it because A is not in the word list. So it thinks it's a misspelled word. Test did it correctly. Sentence did it correctly. Interesting. I found the total number of parameters for optimal outcome 42,069. It's perfect and will work on most PCs. Will publish these results soon. I shall wait with bated breath. In trillions, I presume. Passing the text through the command line is kind of suboptimal for Vraya. Maybe you could allow piping or file check. Right now it's just like a prototype. Eventually I want to have it work with like with NeoVim and stuff, but that's a little while away. Not getting it through if we want to make 10 kids. Not getting it through if we want to make 10 kids at Speak Machine. What does that mean? Are we going to have 10 kids? I have returned. Hello, Clippy wants your data. Can I make PRs? PRs are currently disabled because I need to make a video with someone. But once we have a new version and the video's out, I'm probably going to enable PRs. For the layoffs, I see, yes. Yeah, if you want to have 10 kids, you're not going to make it through. They're going to get rid of you so fast. Sorry, you're having too many kids. You said Parekum too many times, you're fired for performative Romanian. I don't like this. It's just another reason why I wouldn't be interested in working in one of these mega corporations. It's just, I don't know. I'm not saying they're all necessarily bad. I don't know where the cutoff point is, but when your company installs spyware on your work machine to try and harvest your intelligence to then sell it back to people and fire you, I think the word evil is probably pretty a correct use. But we are in competitive Romanian. That's true. That's true.
About though is they should have secondary systems to track things like, is this person on leave, is this that type of thing. And so basically what should happen is it should check to see how much work is being done, compare that, or basically
it should check that, but does it? Remember, these clankers are black boxes. They themselves say that they don't really know how they work. Yes, I mean, interestingly, if you wanted to write a program that does this, you'd be better off just writing it like as a traditional algo. You could do it as a bash script if you really wanted to. They will drain your soul out, yes. They will drain your soul out, and I do not just like that. Okay, good. That's good. You shouldn't.
Go to a different system, see whether they're actually supposed to be on the clock or whatever, and then from that get some kind of point value. One of the big problems we're seeing with artificial intelligence nowadays, and again with this whole AI thing, it's very important to understand AI is just a set of buzzwords. The technology is vector databases, the technology is neural networks. And so one of the problems that we see is people lump this whole concept of artificial intelligence onto these systems, and then they simply say, oh, the system is smart enough to know, without actually understanding what any of the underlying system looks like. And so I think there could be a problem there where managers just assumed, oh, okay, these people aren't working up to standard, let's fire them.
Huge problem. You have a black box technology, no one knows how it really works, but people have been primed to believe that it's highly intelligent. So then the managers, most of whom aren't actually technical, will take the word of the machine rather than take your word. And so they're going to make hiring and firing decisions based entirely on some black box.
Without really understanding what they were looking at.
I'm reminded of IBM manual from 1979, not I personally read, but
yes, a machine cannot be held responsible, therefore a machine should never make a decision. Are you saying managers just like AI? Yes, they do.
It has popped up recently. And it says, a computer can never be held accountable, therefore a computer must never make management decisions. And Meta holds that the personnel decisions were never made by anything other than people, and the AI didn't just issue a you're fired letter to them. But if an AI dashboard or whatever hands a manager a list of people, like you say, and it says these people are underperforming or whatever, do you think that a manager would really be going to the lengths of verifying that information, or do you maybe just think they would just rubber stamp it? Because after all,
they will rubber stamp it. If it makes their job easier, they will rubber stamp it. Duh. What's the point of using the clanker then? If you also then have to manually verify all the information, what's the point of using the clanker? And so if they're going to be like, I get to do less work, I get paid just as much, and I get to chill a lot more, I get to trust the machine to do the right thing, then they'll do that. I don't have much faith in a human nature to hand off my work with intelligence farming. Can you expand on that? I'm not sure what you mean. I know that's to do with the spyware, but what do you mean? If a dog bit someone, the owner would be held accountable. Correct, yes. If you ban the word precum, I won't just like it. It's kind of a funny word.
The selling point of AI is that it's supposed to save you time rather than send you off down a verification rabbit hole.
Well, I mean, that's where we get to the whole problem of all of these companies have been overhiring, at least since the COVID era, at least since 2020. I would argue they've actually been overhiring since probably about 2016. And
Maybe that's the real reason. They just want to get rid of people. They hire too many. They don't want to admit it, so they would rather just say, sorry, the clanker deemed you unworthy. You aren't a sufficiently performative male, I'm afraid. So we must let you go. Sorry.
when we talk about the overhiring process, there's a lot of focus on the coders and the product managers and those types of people. But something to think about is if there was overhiring being done 6 years ago, the people that were overhired and at that time may have not been really qualified for their job 6 years ago have probably gone promoted over the years. And so one of the issues that we deal with is a lot of the company culture at these large technology organizations has been devastated by this overhiring process. And so there's a lot of managers now that literally do not understand the systems that they're supposed to be responsible for. So if you had, like back from my day, if you go back 20 years ago and you had a team leader, you had a manager, they should know how all of this stuff works and they should know the buck stops with them. But if you've had people that have just been pushed into higher and higher positions just because the company's been hiring so many people, then they may not fully understand what they're looking at. They may not fully understand how to be good managers and leaders. And so if they get a dashboard, they may just look at the dashboard and say, okay, these are what the numbers are, and I'm simply going to go by those numbers without looking into it more.
There was a saying which I'm probably going to butcher, but if you know it in the comments, do let me know. And it's something like, you're always promoted, well, not always, but people are always promoted to the point of incompetence. Like if you do good at your job, then you're given the next one until eventually you're not good enough to do the next one. So you just kind of stay where you're just not quite good enough to do the job. And I recently heard a term called accountability laundering. So, I mean, in the context of AI, you just kind of...
I wonder if he means like, if accountability laundering is when the manager says, well, the AI told me this, so therefore it's not my fault. I wonder if that's the meme. Oh my god, a Valgrind Vraya. There are so many conditional jumps. I never said it's a good software. It's just, I'm just trying to make something. AI HR. To precum or not to precum, that is the question. I made it sigful to my 1 gigabyte memory tampon input. Very nice. If I rent an apartment and a dishwasher breaks, it's on the owner of the place to repair it. If I buy the dishwasher, then I should be able to take it with me, but feel like we live with third option. Yeah, you pay for it and you don't get to keep it. You get all the bad parts and none of the good parts. The bot bonged you. I'm the one driving the engagement, just like like at least the language, bro. Honestly, I keep that yapping memeing because it's funny. Hey guys, hello Donald. Like, I agreed too much responsibilities for boys who rent.
Kind of say, yeah, it's objective. It has the knowledge. It's the black box thing, all that kind of stuff. Do you think that is something that is a threat in the long term of sort of work and employment and stuff, or is that something that kind of would have to be regulated eventually? Because going back to the IBM quote, a computer is, you can't hold a computer accountable. You just turn it off.
Well, I mean, at some point, all of these companies are going to have to right size with their employment to the level that they actually need. So all of this is going to regulate out, I don't know, maybe over 5 years or something like that. I think the big problem that we have right now, and again, especially with a lot of these managers and leaders dealing with artificial intelligence, I think about this. I went to a lot of AI events a couple of years ago. And
what is that painting behind Eli? Is that robots and a bunch of donuts?
One of the things that they were pushing was the concept that AI could write your business plan or AI could write your marketing plan. And I was in the back losing my mind over this because with people that aren't good managers and aren't good entrepreneurs, when you look at a marketing plan or you look at a business plan, it looks just like this tedious piece of documentation. It's going to be 40 pages at least. It's horrible, right? So if you can have AI write this thing for you, hey, isn't that great? That's wonderful. AI did all of the boring work. The problem is when you're doing your business plan or your marketing plan, the paperwork isn't the important thing. The paperwork is what you can use later to verify you're doing what you thought you were supposed to do. The paperwork is what you can hand to the bank to get a loan. The actual value is sitting there and talking to prospective customers. It's sitting there talking to prospective vendors. It's sitting there and actually understanding the economic environment you're in and making sure you really know what you're getting yourself into. So when you have AI do these plans, the problem is it spits out this paperwork, but you don't get any better. You don't learn all the lessons that you're supposed to learn creating that stuff.
It's not just that, it's also the fact that it's just humans being primed by science fiction. It's someone who isn't technical hearing the idea about artificial intelligence can write, can do work for you, it can create a plan for you. It's going to be the most middle of the oh my god, just the most average, middle of the road plan imaginable. It's going to be absolutely terrible. Why would you outsource the creative stuff like that to a machine? At my work, security tries to implement an Active Directory, but they failed with my Arch and my colleagues' Void. It was nice to see them back off on that initiative, at least for now. Yes, at least for now. I've been reading Dune. There's a massive flaw. Why didn't Paul just jump the Marco fruit? That's a good point. Hopefully he goes to get a drink and we can see it. Oh, yeah, of course. Security pushing Active Directory, something not quite right there. Doesn't every company have Active Directory at this point? Guys, can I ruin Harry Potter for you? I will let Papa say yay or nay. It's safe for work. Is this to do with the fact that they could have used the time machine in the third book to go back and stop Voldemort? But do tell me if that's not it. Don't neuter your critical thinking skills, folks. Even if it gives you the bones of an idea, do as much as you can yourself. It's also like there's stuff like writing fiction that I would never use AI for. Like you can use AI to do research or Google stuff, like essentially Google stuff, but I would never use it for writing because if I don't respect you enough to write the words myself, why would I expect you to read them? AI equals slop machine. Yes. Maybe there aren't donuts in the painting, but the towers of Hanoi, Vietnam flashback, those look really much like they have toppings. There must be donuts. Also, it looks like 1970s science fiction art, a concept art which I absolutely adore. Please know Hollywood is already doing that. The more I dig into Vraya, the stranger it gets. It's a strange project. This is like the second version of it, and again, I'm doing it without using AI. So all of that stuff that you're reading is just me like doing weird patches to things to get them to work. Like it's a bit of a mess. I am fully aware of that. I didn't use AI for it, or I think I used AI to search like syntax initially. Then I stopped very quickly after. No, it's nothing about the time machine. Why didn't Voldemort just beat up baby Harry Potter if he wanted to oof him or throw him out of the window? I believe the reason is because the spell backfired. The power of love that Lily Potter had for him essentially made Voldemort powerless. So once he tried to oof him, and his mother protected him, he then became too powerless to do anything about it, and it took him years to regain his power. I believe that is the explanation. GitHub Copilot is pretty good for searching in GitHub, compared to that GitHub code search. The GitHub code search is a meme. I can't believe that's the official search function. I completed my move back to X11, by the way. What were you on before? I wish I could be the one to review it with you. You can. Well, let's see what happens with the new version, and then we can talk about it. What is Vraya? Out of the loop. Vraya is my very messy spell checker on GitHub. It's on GitHub. That's what he's talking about. Powerless. If he was strong enough to carry a wand, he was strong enough to chuck a baby out of a window. I don't know what happens to his wand. I guess he did have it. I don't know. I mean, J.K. Rowling said that she planned out the entire story. I think it's pretty evident that she didn't. A lot of it seems to be kind of made up on the spot. But the biggest flaw is the time machine in the third book. They had a time machine this entire time, and they didn't go back to stop Voldemort. So he could have just used a gun. I was using River and Wayland. I see. Never tried River. I've never heard of River. GitHub code search used to be really good until Microsoft bought the platform and effed it up. Interesting.
And I think that's one of the big issues that we're having now with AI and, like I say, the manager positions and the leadership positions is, again, there's this whole thing of, oh, okay, I'll ask AI or I'll get this dashboard. It will give me an answer. But that's the thing, is if you don't understand what it is you're trying to shoot for, if you don't push back against your managers, one of the hardest things being the technology world is standing your ground against stupid bosses. Like sometimes your boss is just asking you to do things that don't make sense. And it's like, no, I'm not going to leave this room until we have this argument. But if you have this AI the AI says this is what we should do, so we're just going.
That's an interesting point, that you need to fight your boss sometimes. I see that happening less and less as we move forward. Back when tech jobs were super safe, the video is muted? I don't think so. Shouldn't be. Back when tech jobs were super safe, people were more likely to talk back and say, no, that's a stupid idea, we can't do that. But now that the jobs are getting more insecure, people are going to be less likely to talk back to their boss or their manager, meaning that all these terrible ideas are going to get implemented a lot more than they were in the past. So while in the past there was some sort of some sort of barrier against dumb ideas, now it's going to be less so. I think J.K. Rowling transformed, see what he did there, the story. He couldn't use a gun. It's in the UK. That's true. Okay, so it wasn't muted. Okay, perfect. Yet there are still gun crimes in the UK. That's true. You're opening multiple files. No, just the code is very messy. I've spoken about this many times. It's very, very messy because I'm learning how to use C better without using AI. So every improvement that I do, I have to find in some documentation somewhere. Never mind, it's working. My audio just got up. Perfect. Okay. Also, like he couldn't break into a military base and get one. I think we're really overthinking Harry Potter. Speak machine error. Cannot finish sentence. That's true. What if you disagree with the manager, but you're the manager? Disagree with yourself? Or if you disagree with the manager above you? If they combine the wizard magic with the normal tech, they would be on the moon by now. That's interesting, isn't it? Wizards on the moon? Is that what's in the dark side of the moon? Is it just wizards? On master, it tries to open T file, Not sure what is happening, lol. Because uppercase T does not exist. I'd have to have a look at it. I'm not sure right now.
Way to do it. And yeah, that's where you kind of get like the AI laundering of it makes life easier, but then the managers aren't functionally doing their jobs.
You touched on my next question a little bit earlier, which is that part of the basis of this lawsuit is the claim that the keystroke monitoring data that Meta promised would only be used for training AI was allegedly used for informing performance ratings. And Meta, of course, denies it, but it's not hard to believe that an AI system could confuse time off with inactivity and flag somebody as underperforming. But then if you can't trust this technology for this kind of thing, where does that leave that like a ubiquitous use case that AI developers are selling? Because if you can't trust it, what are you paying it for?
Well, but I think that's where we come to the crux of the problem. You can never trust any of this ever. One of my buzz phrases is distrust, verify, stay suspicious. Never trust anything. And so that's basically these systems are going to get better over time. But even when we get to end game, even when they're the best that they're ever going to be, you don't necessarily understand how they're making those decisions. Like what manifest or who wrote up a set of.
I want to push back at something briefly here. People keep saying that these things are only going to get better. I don't know if that's true. You see, when I've said this before, but imagine it's the 1950s. We're sitting in a diner, we're smoking indoors, and a teenager on roller skates brings us our hamburgers and Cokes in a glass bottle. And we're wearing suits where our hair is nice and gelled. And we're looking at airplanes and we're going, wow, bro, in the past 40, 50 years, look at how far planes have advanced. Can you believe how far planes are going to advance in another 50 years? Probably going to be on the moon at least, right? We're going to be on Jupiter or something. And yet, airplane technology has largely plateaued by the 70s. What's really changed in airplanes since the 70s? Well, we have Wi-Fi on board. Wow, true improvement. We used to have Concords. You used to be able to fly from New York to London in like 2 hours. That was in the 80s. And now we're back to like 6 to 8 hours for a transatlantic flight. What's improved about commercial flights? Pretty much nothing. They're getting worse, if anything. They're actively getting worse. So this idea of like taking for granted the fact that AI models will only ever improve, I don't think that's a given. I think people keep saying it because it sounds good. It makes you sound prophetic. Yes, these machines will only ever get better. Look at the cost of improving them. Look at how with every new iteration it takes more money and more effort to make them better. You can say, well, maybe they can self-improve. Maybe. We haven't really seen that. And even if that's true, why do you assume that there isn't going to be some, like, what's the cost of that going to be? Can we pay that? Do we want to pay that price? I don't know. To assume that these machines will only ever get better seems to be a problem. I don't think it's necessarily true. But also the idea that they'll never quite be as good as humans, or at least you can never truly know how these decisions are made. Therefore, how can you trust them? Like, even if they get 90% of the way there, that 10% difference is huge. That 10% difference doesn't replace the human, because unless you can 100% trust the models, or at least trust them as much as humans, you can never fully trust them. You need a person there, meaning that you can never replace them. Like, have you ever seen these automated places that they have now where you can get, it's like a bar, and you can have robot arms make your drinks for you, and they mess up so much that they have to have humans there? They have to have humans there anyway. And it's more of a gimmick. It's more of like, wow, you can have a robot make your drink, but it messes up constantly, so a human has to walk up to the machine for the nth time that day and make the drink themselves and bring it to you. Oh, you are opening groups, but you don't check whether the letter is uppercase, so you're trying to open group T instead of group... I need to have a look at that, thanks. I think that might just be a typo. Thank you. Also, what stopped Voldemort stealing a tank from the military base and blowing up the house that Baby Potter was in? So many flaws. Streamlabs bot just hallucinated. I think it just uses regex. It uses regex, probably, so it found .txt. It assumed txt is a top-level domain, I guess. Of course, it's gonna get better. We just need a trillion parameters model, bro. Trust, bro. Yes. I think we're on a 4 trillion model now. A cheap tablet. So the film's in the headrest. I don't know what that means. I already patched like 5 bugs in Vraya. Don't waste your time, because we're gonna change the code. But I appreciate it. There's a lot of bugs. It's not a perfect project by any means. Overall, I like this approach, yet let's fully rely on the conclusion and results of these mysterious and not entirely deterministic black boxes, no matter how good they seem. Yeah, it's... The people who make decisions don't understand how these things work. They think it's magic. You might as well say it's magic and they'll believe you. I always wondered if there is a limit... Like, this is the danger that... This is the real danger that we're walking into. Technology used to be easy to grasp. Hey bro, here's a better plow. See that plow? That is garbage. My new plow, it's 17% better. You can physically see how the plow is better. And any human can grok this information. Look at this car, it's faster, it can carry more coal, whatever. Simple sell, it's easy to grasp. But when you have a magic box, it's beyond the understanding of most managers. So when you show them this technology, to them it's just magic. You can explain something about arrays and like vectors and like functions and something. Bro, it's talking to me and knows about Tupac lyrics. Like, that's all they'll understand. You can't explain this to them, which is a huge danger. AI may also kind of eat itself like a snake. Since more and more of the training data will be AI slop, yes. Which means that the AI companies will be encouraged to harvest our data more and more. Because if more of the internet becomes just a mess of AI, they'll want to get it straight from the tap. But if humans also get worse as a result of interacting with LLMs more, that's another interesting point, right? I think all of the human history is a large part is led to advancement by material processing, from stone age to copper, to bronze to iron, to improve planes, invent titanium ++. No, it's not a typo, it's because you need to lowercase the first letter before trying to match it to a group file. Chat crashed again. Yeah, man, I love software, it's the best. I'll have to have a look at that. I haven't looked at the code in a couple of weeks. Another flaw is Harry Potter. Harry could have just gone in a time machine, got a boomstick, and unalive Voldemort. Another flaw. I literally just said that they could have used the time machine in the third book. Yeah, there's so many. Although, to be fair, if he did that, then he would be the criminal because Voldemort had yet to do anything. It's complicated. Magic is easier to sell. Yes, magic is easier to sell. This is a magic box. It's cheap and you can replace your expensive people with it. Don't worry about what happens to the price after you get rid of all your staff and we control your entire business. Don't worry about that part. It's a magic box. It's complicated. Redditors should be Let's not use that term. Remove. Let's not use that term. I'm so pro Gemma 4 12B because it's going to free me from having to interact with bureaucrats and management like at all. Just be talking to LLM workflow version of me. It's crazy how the people who are the most replaceable by these models seem to be so keen to push them. Magic is easy to sell, which is why Harry Potter did so well. That's true, yes. Are you saying that the richest folks are the ones selling magic stones? That's... sorry, broski. That's okay. Just keep it more wholesome, Chungus.
Rules 5 years ago and left the company, and nobody really understands what rules these AI systems are working off of. And so I think that's one of the big things to be thinking about for these managers or anybody else, is that you can't trust these systems. These are simply dashboards. This is information that's being provided to you, and then you have to do your damn job and make sure you're doing what's appropriate.
There's already quite a few sort of AI performance tracking HR services out there. What are the dangers that you see in using AI in that way?
Well, one of the big problems you get into is we've been seeing this in the Amazon world, and it'll be curious to see how that flushes out over the next 5 years, where basically Amazon, again, whether it's AI or automated systems, what they're doing is they track warehouse workers. And so they're constantly pushing their warehouse workers to work faster and faster and faster. And on the short term, that looks really good because they're getting better performance out of their warehouse workers. The problem is that their warehouse workers are literally, they're getting repetitive stress injuries, and they're literally getting hurt. And there is an actual question with Amazon of, will they burn through the entire population of people willing to work in warehouses? Because these systems are trying to optimize to such a degree.
Well, what Amazon is hoping is that by the time they run out of people who are willing to work in warehouses, they won't need humans to work in warehouses. That's the bet that they're making. The best tip I can give you, try to make shorter functions. 90 lines is quite long. Rule of thumb, your functions should fit into your screen without having to scroll. I've heard a lot of different ideas around that. I had my bug recommended. Okay. I'm not sure what that means. 9 mine functions will go whole page and have 0 helpers because free will. Nobody except my 12 friends will ever even use my application. Can we watch live overflow investigation of the OpenAI Hugging Face hack? Maybe I can look into it. We may not have time for Mass Effect. No wonder Big E... I'm not sure what that means. With the way Amazon treats their workers, it's one of the few cases I hope they are replaced by machines. What do you mean for their own well-being? Because they're treated so poorly.
And I think that's the big thing where humans have to be in the loop of all this. And again, we have to be managers. We have to be we have to do our jobs of thinking about that long-term consequence. Okay, we push out more efficiency now, but does that mean we increase the churn of our employees? And now let's be honest, can we increase the churn of the employees? Like if you look at telephones and like call centers, right, in the Philippines, they're fine with churn. Man, there's 1,000 more people they can hire every day, right? It's horrible, but it's true. But this is like the kind of thing that as a manager you have to think about, and you're like, how many people can I hire per year? What should churn look like? What is the overall value proposition? All of that kind of stuff. And that's where with these AI systems, they're really good at giving numbers. And I think that they're really good at giving you a heads up. Like they can give you like a yellow flashing sign of, hey, this is something that you should make a decision on. I think that's where I look at this AI stuff.
Are there any positive use cases for AI sort of in personnel management and HR kind of stuff that you could think of? Like, I mean, off the top of my head, monitoring if people are working too much, like using it in a, maybe this is a slightly idealistic view of what work could be like, but using it to make sure that the welfare of your employees is actually somebody's paying attention to it rather than kind of brushing it under the rug? Or is AI actually just going to make it easier to brush it under the rug? But anyway, getting back to the question, are there any positives that you see in sort of how AI could be used in that sort of HR space?
Well, yeah, but again, it goes back to the era before this was called AI. Like, there's something called semantic analysis that got started. It started being put into production over a decade ago, and so like when you're having telephone conversations, again, like with call centers, where the computer system is actually analyzing the communication going back and forth, and it can track things like stress level, it can track theoretically the happiness level and that type of thing. And so that's one of the things like you can do with your employees. You can actually track to see, are they getting more and more stressed? So imagine if you have like a semantic analysis system for Slack or for email or for telephone systems, what if you could just have a yellow flag to say, look, Bob is 25% more stressed than he's been in the past year. And just again, as a manager, say, hey Bob, come into the office. Look, I just want to make sure, is everything going okay?
I mean, this kind of technology is interesting to keep track of like employees burning out, but it's also kind of incredibly cynical. Like, hey, Bob's about to crack. Give him a $20 voucher for Dunkin' Donuts. There's just something gross about it. Next week I can expect Prime deliveries in the next hour. I'm expecting that. Sorry, machine, that was a Warhammer reference, I see. The underlying purpose of AI is to allow wealthy to access skill while removing from the skill the ability to access wealth. Same old story. Yeah, that was what was the hack like actually? Is it hype or is it Sammy Boy Smoke and Mirrors again? Seems like it was actually hype. Not really. It did break out. Okay. If it can be used for welfare of employees, it's definitely going to be used the opposite. Yeah, they're not going to use it. It's not like when they check to see if you're about to crack, it's not for your welfare that they're using it. We have been around for thousands of years, but now we need AI to function in the workplace. And it seems, well, the workplace is a very new thing. We have been around. It seems like it chained free 0 days. Interesting, but it drifted with the compression caused it to miss its goal. Hey Bob, you stressed, you're fired. Yeah, 100%. Especially if it's cheap to hire and fire. Companies will do anything but pay their employees more. That's true. I would like to. Hey Bob, it seems like the job stressed you out. To ease your suffering, you are fired. Yeah, this job is clearly not a good fit. You're stressed out. See ya, Bob. Shaking my head. They're going to make it into the AI says you can make it work X more before it's going to crack to get up to the limit as close as possible. Yeah, they're going to use these algorithms to try and squeeze as much productivity out of you as humanly possible before getting rid of you. This stuff will not be used in your interest. It will not be used to keep you healthy or whatever. There's no reason for them to do that, especially if they expect to not need people sooner rather than later. Chat crashed again. It's just the state of software in 2026.
Blase. And you might find out, their kid, I don't know, is in the hospital or something like that. And then you can say, oh, why don't you take some time off or something like that's where if the technology and the managers actually work hand in hand, you can have a lot of benefits, but it requires the managers to do their damn jobs. Yeah.
So if AI is used to measure performance in workers, does that risk changing the goal of what work is for a worker? Bringing in value and doing that kind of stuff is then taking a second place to fitting into this ideal performance metric that the systems, the AI systems, are holding you to. And then also, I guess, who sets those standards for the AI? Are they setting it themselves? Because then where's the human element in that as well?
I mean, it really depends on what job it is, right? So if you look at, like, say, Amazon warehouse workers, you can basically hand that off to AI. Again, do some management, don't break your warehouse workers, but that is something that can be highly automated. Um,
Is it just me, or is Eli's speech impediment getting worse as the video progresses? No hate, I also have a speech impediment. And mine tends to get worse as the day progresses, but I'm noticing that his speech is getting a little bit slurred. More techno-capital, as one Canadian with a giant forehead would say, an almost Canadian would say. Copilot crashed the chat plugin rip. Now, I sometimes wonder if giving up is actually just a better decision. Maybe we truly are cooked, and we are doing now is raging against the dying of the light. I don't know what you mean by giving up. I mean, I'm personally not... I want to make a video about how, like, productivity is slavery. Like, I'm just trying to just enjoy my life. I'm trying to work fewer hours, have more free time to listen to seagulls outside. I don't think that the boomer meme still exists. The work hard and walk in there, give them a firm handshake, and they'll give you a job for life. That's obviously a meme now. You shouldn't let the stuff get to you. You should just live your life and just keep an eye on what's happening, but don't let it get to you. That's how you lose if it gets to you. Just relax. Just whatever. Try and keep your costs down. Try and keep your rent down. Everything down. Focus on your health. Focus on your well-being. And don't worry too much about this stuff. How does one mess up an app as simple as chat viewer? Speak, code your own chat. I mean, it might be vibe coded. I don't know. We are all, and we're all going to sell everything in panic, Warren Buffett. All this will destroy itself. Just live your life in the background and enjoy. Yeah, this stuff is going to come crashing down so bad. It's gonna take a disaster, but it's probably gonna happen. Just like you can't tether your well-being to the economy. You can't tether your mental well-being on a thing that's supposed to go up and down all the time. That's a bad idea. No doubt productivity is just to be a good slave. Yeah, it's like slaves measure like only slaves feel like they have to be productive in order to justify their existence. There's been a push, I'm going to make a video about this soon, but there's been a push for a few years now to really maximize productivity. Wake up at 5 a.m, ice bath every day in the morning, take your peptides. Like only slaves live like that. Like if any human before the Industrial Revolution looked at our daily lives, they'd be horrified. I had to give something else with my hand for a job. I mean, hey, if it works, it works. Nothing ever happens maxing. There's some truth to that. Like, you can't let this stuff get to you. It's all designed to freak you out. Just live your life, man. You can keep an eye on it, but you can go too deep down this rabbit hole. Next packages is my Island of Serenity. Very nice. Thank you for the kind words, Clippy. I'm going to play Skyrim now. You cannot stop me. I shan't. The secret is to be productive in a way that actually benefits you, like learning a skill you want to learn. Yes, it's about living your life and doing the things that you enjoy. If you feel like learning, learn. If you feel like going for a swim, go for a swim. Sit on the beach. Go spend time with beautiful women or whatever. Like, go with your family or whatever. Like, do... it's not about being productive for someone else. It's about just enjoying your life. And the older I get, the truer this gets, and the more of an obvious truth this becomes. And I'm happy that I realized this in my early 30s and not in my late 70s. Slave maxing, 100%. I love to ice my balls while watching your stream. Peak productivity. Careful not to turn them too blue.
You think about like IT support services. So again, when I had my company, we had ticket tracking systems. And so work orders come in, track the work orders, that type of thing. You can have AI manage that. The problem that you get into though is like, what about like a lot of these technology companies? So a lot of these technology companies, you don't necessarily always know what the problem is. You definitely don't know what the solution is. You may iterate through solutions 50 times in a single day. And that's where AI, I think, would be a lot more of a disaster to try to implement. And so that's where you're looking at with AI management. Again, it comes back to actually understanding what the job function is supposed to be, understanding what the outputs are supposed to be. I think about this. I was listening to a few people talk about the work from home movement, and one of the problems was that managers don't know their employees' KPIs. So KPIs are called key performance indicators. And so again, like if I had a help desk company or whatever, is like dealing with the ticket tracking system. Ticket comes in, how quickly was it fixed? One of the problems we run into in the modern world, again, so many of these companies grew so quickly, managers don't actually know why their employees are valuable. And so whether we're talking about AI, whether we're talking about work from home, whether we're talking about any of the number of issues we're currently dealing with, one of the core problems we come back to is many companies and many bosses don't actually know the value of the employee. And without knowing that, then any solutions are going to be a difficult problem. I think the big thing for the next 5 years is getting back to a world where bosses and owners actually understand the value proposition of these employees. When I was in the corporate world, it's one of the reasons I have a problem talking with a lot of new technology professionals, is everybody I knew was tracked. Like, the corporate world used to be tracked to high hell and back. Like, you could argue about whether something should be as value, whatever, but it was all whereas so many of these modern technology professionals, they've spent a decade. And like the idea of having them be under KPIs is something that they actually find repulsive. They find that insulting. And I don't understand how we move forward with these corporations for any number of things without understanding that.
You say like in the next 5 years that learning, or I suppose maybe relearning the value of their employees is going to be something that needs to be done. But
I wonder if they'll be forced to do that essentially. If when it becomes evident that you can't just replace your senior staff with chatbots, maybe that will essentially force them to realize the value of their staff. I think life is such beautiful transient existence, and there is joy in creation, yet not in creation for the sake of slaving away. Yes, he's T-maxing. Testosterone? Or is that a reference to my code? We're always promised that progress will reduce the amount of work and increase the amount of happiness, but it almost always turns out the opposite. Yes, I plan to make a video on that. I like making and doing stuff on my computer, so I'd say I'm quite productive, but that doesn't provide any benefit to the economy. I don't think it needs to. I don't think the economy is the ultimate. Like, the economy is there, it's supposedly there to serve us, not the other way around. I found a more productive method. I punch them every time someone mentions AI. I'm not having kids. Oh, you're talking about your pee-pee. Yes. I can check them by hand for you, sweetheart. Okay. T reminded me of generics, not test. I guess I'm doing better. Thank you. That will make me happy. I love man. I love man. I love man. Man, I have a lot of femboys in chat. Yes, I looked at the data for that as well. It's so asinine that it happens, yet it just happens for some reason. Actually, I guess major contributing factors in the rat race is the finances getting bad debts, credit cards, EMIs. A bunch of pregnant men emojis. Vibe-coded chat crashed again. Dag nabbit. Let me reset it on my end. Maybe that helps. At Speak Machine, you are the cutest princess. Thank you.
with AI, again, what is sold as AI kind of coming along parallel to that, would that be making it easier?
Oh, I just re-enabled chat. Hi YouTube, hello Noble. That may not show yet because I just re-enabled chat. If you're out of a job, just say you're happy to do it for free and you will be employed real fast. Life hack. Advice worth every penny. Sometimes that works. I mean, I've done that to improve my, like if I had a client and I wanted to also do, like I was doing X for them, but I also wanted to do Y for them, I would say, can we try doing Y? I'm not going to charge you for the first time. We can just see if it works, and then we can decide if you want to keep doing it. And for them, it's a win-win, because if it works out, their business improves. If it doesn't, they don't lose any money. Homo maxing on this chat, buff sweaty man in my DMs. Oh my god. Never will work for a big company. Yeah, I don't know if Google will hire you necessarily if you say that. When are you going to wear your pink wig again? I don't think I've ever worn a pink wig. Pretty sure I haven't. I've never worn any wigs, I don't think. By the way, I am unemployed. So Birdie would know. Yeah, but you quit your job on purpose, so I'm not sure if it counts.
Or harder to learn the value of employees.
So I just realized that you meant it like you just quit your job, so now you're happy. GG. But you wore it on cam last night. I wasn't live last night. Huh?
Make it easier, harder. Oh, that's a weird one. Give me a second on that.
Yeah.
Oh, I think with this, it comes back to kind of like the story of today, the narrative to today. It comes back to the managers and the owners understanding what they're trying to accomplish. So one of the big things I've seen a lot being talked about now is like with AI agents. One of the curious questions that we really haven't figured out right now is, where do agents fit into an org chart? Like we are going to get to a place where everybody knows employees are going to be telling agents what to do. But we're also going to get to a place where agents tell employees what to do, right? So there's going to be a point when agents and humans are actually working within an org chart together. And I think this is where it comes back to the managers and the owners understanding what they're really trying to accomplish. Like if you look at this particular job position, what is the ROI? What is return on investment? What are the expectations for the year? And so I think AI can help suss out some of that value, but it's also going to come to the managers and the owners, again, going back to doing their jobs and understanding what it is that they're trying to sell to the world.
Going back to the lawsuit, we kind of have danced around it a little bit, and it's sort of this idea of the biases and blind spots and that kind of thing. And also with the misconception that this software, this technology is somehow objective and data driven. And I guess it is data driven, but the data it is educated on, you could say trained on, is itself biased as well. And so, I mean, is there a way around that you see?
That's another meme. The fact that data is biased. So apparently, models that are used for like filtering out CVs have a tendency to prefer more common names and to not prefer more different names. Who says you were streaming? You were watching me from my webcam. I don't even watch the videos you watch. I'm just here for a reaction to chat. That's good. That's good. That's a good stream. I will call my agent 007. Yeah, I quit my cushy remote Fortune 500 company to pursue femboy farm. I already have 2 now. I need to get more. We can go to best this to get. Okay. Okay, let's just. My chat's very unwholesome, Chungus, right now. Just prompt inject your CV. We do not skip this in white text. Yes. I need to pop off now. But it was fun. See ya, Clippy.
Or is AI just kind of fundamentally always going to be at best flawed in sort of personnel management kind of tasks?
It's always going to be flawed because the process is always going to be flawed. One of the problems we run into with artificial intelligence is we try to separate this out from the rest of the business. So, like, I got my degree in criminal justice, 25 years ago. One of the classes that we went through was on crime prevention. And back then, workplace violence was one of the big issues. Again, going postal was like a real thing back in the 1990s. And an interesting question that came up that our professor had us walk through is the appropriate time to fire people during the holidays. So let's say you have this company, and let's say the accountant comes back to you as CEO on December 1st and says, look, everything's going to hell. You got to get rid of 50 employees. And so, again, and like what I think a lot of people don't think about is there's no good answer. So if you figure out you have to...
That must be hell. Just like knowing that behind the scenes, your boss might be trying to figure out algorithmically figure out the best time to get rid of you is... Like, meanwhile, they're smiling at you. Oh, hello, hello, insert valuable employee name here. Hello, here at Corp. We love you. Hello, I love you. Meanwhile, trying to figure out how to get rid of you. If you had to fire a femboy, would you do it on a holiday? Do you think they will like the punishment? I think half my chat will probably like that punishment, yes.
Fire 50 employees and you fire them before Christmas, then that just destroyed their holidays. On the other hand, if you fire them after Christmas, they swiped their credit cards, they took loans, they went into debt expecting to be able to pay it off, and
which is a terrible idea. Do not get into debt to buy gifts for people. That's peak consumerism right there. Do not do that. Oh my god.
Now they have more debt and like that's one of the issues we get into with a lot of this is a lot of it is just every answer is bad. Firing people is never a good thing. Laying them off is never a good thing. And so the issue that we run into, again, with these AI systems is you have to understand why you're doing it, basically to mitigate the ugliness. It's an...
I'm going into debt for the Giga Chad sub. I know you're joking, but do not... I know you're joking, but do not go into debt to give streamers money. But I know you're joking, and I appreciate it. Thank you.
Ugly process, you simply try to mitigate how ugly it's going to be.
This might be, I mean, English employment laws being very different from American, but I'm obviously trying to think what my answer to...
Okay, BTKB, do not joke about your age, please. Do not joke about your age on chat.
To that question would be, and I suppose I would boil it down to I'd rather hurt somebody's feelings.
I know you're not 13. Please do not joke about that. Femboys are delicate animals, depend on its temperament. I want the femboys to be stress-free since they... Oh my... I think I should remove that comment. What? Oh, my chat's bugged. Great. Oh my god, this... I love software. Yeah, Birdie, I'm gonna go ahead and remove that. It's a bit too zesty. Oh my god, bro.
Yeah. But that's where, it all comes down to different people are different. Yeah. Again, it's interesting when you talk with people about this, how they side different. And again, and you're firing 50 people. So 25 may feel one way and 25 may feel another. Yeah.
Anyway, going back to the lawsuit again, whether the claims in it are true or not, Meta is kind of, I think myself, the poster child of how to best alienate your employees while adopting AI into your company. How do you think the
Oh my god. Okay, guys, let's keep the chat a little bit wholesome. This is getting this is getting to remove. Let's just calm down. Let's just calm down. let's just chill. I guess you can't even see that I'm removing some of the latest comments. Let's just take a deep breath, chat. Take a deep breath. Let's just relax. That's not very wholesome.
Remaining employees at Meta are feeling now and seeing the sort of the effect of these layoffs have had, and also do you think there's a risk that this kind of cascades into a bit of a employee retention / hiring issue, given its at best damaged reputation, Meta's damaged reputation?
Well, yeah, but it goes back to Mark Zuckerberg being a god awful CEO. He is a shockingly bad CEO, but he has majority voting rights, so nobody can get rid of him. Again, we go back to actually being a good leader, because the problem is, like,
let's move this conversation to is Primeagen live right now? Bang wholesome chung is not a valid command. If you do bang command or bang commands, I think it's bang commands, it will show you the commands. But that's a good one. I gotta do a wholesome chungus command. It's a good point.
with any of those, systems fail, people scream, it goes to Ars Technica, I scream about it. You know, that's just how it is. The problem that Meta is dealing with is it's just this cascade of just horrible decisions by Mark Zuckerberg. They put so much money into augmented reality and VR, and now all of that's getting put back. And then they've been laying off people by the tens of thousands for a couple of years now. And then on top of that, like not only did they lay off 8,000 people in this last round, but then it was like 6,000 or 7,000 people.
Ooh command. Ed feels so cozy wozy watching the streamy weemy, and then like a little ooh emote. I think that's a good one. I quite like that one.
People, they just shoved into weird ass, like they just took from the jobs that they were doing and then put them into other jobs. And so I think the problem that Meta is dealing with is what we're looking at is one problem that's real, but I think it's you handle it as you handle it. The bigger problem for Meta is just Mark Zuckerberg has just been a disaster for the past number of years. And so I think that's got to be a big problem for them. The issue, though, for the employee.
We're listening to like a video about people getting laid off by AI, and people are doing bang ooh woo in chat. BTKB feels so cozy wozy watching the streamy weemy. Oh, I might have to do like thank you, will you tuck me in? I might have to, maybe, I'm wondering if I can do different outputs for the same command. So if someone does bang ooh woo, it would select out of a range of outputs. That might be interesting.
Realistically, is that the employment environment is not what it was a couple of years ago, right? So it's really easy to say, I'm not going to take this and leave, when you know you can go to Google, when you know you can go to Microsoft. But all those companies are laying off by the tens of thousands too. And so
yeah, that's the point I made earlier. Like, it's easy to stand up to your boss when you can get a job that afternoon. If everyone's laying off people, you're going to have to kind of keep quiet. Your NeoVim config has 171 lines of code. Very impressive. Is there code behind it or just Streamlit automation tool? You can do like a bit of like these are all done by me. So like you have a UI interface, and you can basically kind of it's kind of like IRC essentially. 324 lines of code. Very impressive. What's the video about anyway? Something about people having their lives destroyed. I don't know.
I think, and this is where I would not want to be an employee with Meta right now. I think it would be absolutely horrible. Can you imagine being
oh my god. I think BTKB just got one of the mythical outputs. 6-7. I think he got the first 6-7. Applause. I think you got the first 6-7 in chat. Well done, BTKB. I think it does randomly between 67 and 420 lines of code. I am here, clip it. Well done, BTKB. Give Linux users a cozy space to speak their minds, and the YouTube channel won't survive for long. I know. That's why I have to kind of rein chat in a little bit, because it gets a bit too zesty otherwise.
A company of tens of thousands of pissed off employees that see no exit. That sounds like misery to me. So that's my thought.
If we do look outside of Meta to Google, I think about 4,500 roughly workers sent a petition to their CEO, essentially demanding various layoff protections, and have so far received nothing in response, as far as I'm aware. Anyway, nobody knows anything. And looking more broadly from Google as well, do you think that the declining mood when it comes to AI and its implementation and the companies that are pushing it, do you think that that's accelerating a sort of labor movement at the moment, at least within the tech companies where these sort of layoffs are most present at the moment?
I don't know how much of it's accelerating a real labor movement. I think the problem, like with the Google employees right now, is they just misunderstand how not valuable they are. Right? They've been told for the past decade they're incredibly valuable employees. It was only a couple of years ago we were told the entire paradigm of corporate world had shifted. Employees had the power, businesses had to submit, the whole nine yards. And so, like, I mean, when I hear 4,500 Google employees, submit a petition to not be laid off, I mean, that's adorable. That is the cutest thing I have heard in a long time. Because, I mean, when these companies are laying off people by the tens of thousands, who cares? I mean, you're literally putting out a petition to not lay us off. Like, that's not how this works. And so I think right now with the technology world, it's more that the technology professionals are realizing that they're just not that valuable. Like, literally, they cost the company money. And so they're trying to protest in the ways that they understand. Will this lead to an actual labor movement? I don't know, because the weird part with the technology world, especially over the past 10, 15 years, is it's such a libertarian bent. And so libertarians don't really like the union movement. So it's that thing of, how dare you fire me? But I'm also not really going to get in a group to protect the other people in our group. So I don't know how far that will go as a movement per se. I think right now we're just seeing tech employees understand what reality looks like in 2026.
Well, Eli the Computer Guy, thanks for taking the time.
Yeah, always fun.
If you enjoyed today's episode and you want to hear more of the Tech Report, please consider liking and subscribing. Also, you can get episodes of the Tech Report wherever you get your podcasts.
Use AI to create a union. Sorted. Let's make a clip channel for all zesty moments on stream. Let's not do that. Zesty machine. Cream machine. World crumble through AI. I think this is a worrying trend. Let me just move to center stage here. I think this is a worrying trend that we're seeing. It's not the bang ooh, those are funny, but a cool machine. Oh my god! But I think it's kind of a worrying trend that we're seeing in terms of managers being convinced. Also, chat just got wiped again. Great software. Thank you, Streamlabs. We're seeing a worrying trend. Oh, I can't talk without chat on stream. That just looks weird. Can we get some chats so we can fill up this? Why are you doing this to me? Man, the state of software in 2026 is incredible. But this is a worrying trend. I don't like this trend of using... Looks like you're talking to a wall. Yeah, it does, doesn't it? But this trend of using the magic box goes to Streamlabs repo. One user blocked. Claude code. Is that true though? This I don't like this trend of giving non-technical managers the excuse of, hey, just use the machine, black box, don't worry, it will do a great job. And it's just going to keep destroying people's lives. Let there be chats, yes, first. I had a dream of us covered in olive oil sliding around the tiles of my kitchen. Apparently I do have a very distant Greek ancestor. So I've been told. Yeah, thankfully it only has 450 lines of slop. Oh my god, I had the same one, but mayo lotion and not olive oil. What is mayo lotion, my guy? I've never heard of mayo lotion. Copilot has almost 3,000 additional editions of slop, though. Oof, yikes. That's oof. But I think there's something bad's gonna have to happen. I don't wish for it, but I think that there would have to be a massive PR nightmare for these companies to stop doing this. It's gonna, I don't know, they're probably gonna get sued into like this. What's probably gonna happen is they're gonna fire a bunch of new mothers who got fired because the system didn't take into account the fact that they were on leave and they got fired as a result. Maybe that's what it will take. Maybe tech workers are going to unionize. I don't know. I don't know what good that would do at this point, but mayo lotion is what we produce on our farm. Oh my god. We should call mods groomers from now on. Refer to us as your groomers. Let's not do that. Let's not do that at all. But I ask you, the nerd in chat watching this, what do you think? What is your take? Do you think that using black boxes for HR purposes is a good idea or not? Let me know in the comments down below. The name is Black Box Machine. It's going to take these companies completely disappearing, as in bankrupt 10 times over. But how would that happen? Is it just would that just happen because they're bad at business? They're just over-invested? Is it lawsuits? Femboy Mayo Lotion, 100% organic. You said you were interested in real food. We could sponsor you if you want. Oh my god. Damn, they're just kink maxing. Yeah. We will give you free sample response. Okay, let's keep this wholesome chungus, guys. Let's calm down. 100% I hate HR, read them all. The nerd says that we should make our own CPUs to escape this sinking ship. Interesting. Straight from source. Sam Smith was right all along. I don't know what that means. Using black box is like taking suggestions from mentally ill person seriously. Yeah, because the hallucinations can be quite severe. Many people hate other people and childishly dream of a single button that would replace all people and fulfill all their dreams. Yes, the machine tells you how smart you are on a regular basis. You're so smart, you're the best, you're the smartest CEO that's ever lived. I promise. Like, every time you talk to ChatGPT, it does this. Can someone type bang uwu in chat for me, please? Because I can't do that. But can someone type bang uwu in chat so I can make a funny point? Oh my god, this website is kind of a mess. Thank you, Ed. Let's see it. Check him. He makes his own hardware and software. Also codes in Latin. Bang uwu. So every time these people use the bots, it says, "Oh, hello, CEO. I feel so cozy wozy talking to you. I feel so cozy wozy." That's what it is, right? On our femboy farm, we practice. Okay, Birdie. Let's keep the femboy farm stuff out of stream. It's a bit too. Where's the? Oh my god, this software is just. Wait, is the stream down? Or is that just... No, I think we're good. Okay, live. Yeah, let's just stay away from the femboy farm stuff. It's funny, but I don't want to get my stream taken down. Imagine if Terry Davis was still around. Temple OS LLM. Feel so cozy, Rose. Watching the streamy weemy. Okay, more serious point. It's a statistical model. A model has error rate. The errors compound. Multiple hallucinations will mess you up. Femboy farm. I'll stop. All right. It's okay. Thanks, Patty. Proper businessman. You are live. Okay, perfect. No, not down. Perfect. Stream still up. Femboy will take down the stream. I hope not. I hope not. Also, I don't think we're gonna have time for Mass Effect because we've been live for like 2 hours and 20 minutes. But I didn't intend on watching the second video necessarily, but it was kind of interesting. It was very interesting. So we kind of ended up doing that, taking up. It was all the femboy mentioning that slowed things down. The femboy effect. Don't forget to look up all the sites I gave you. You gave me one site, I think. Last thing on the subject, change your farm on Stardew Valley to femboy. That's kind of funny, actually. Can you do that? Can you change the name during the during gameplay? Question mark. That is kind of funny. I don't know if I want to encourage the meme, but that might be funny. Just like it's like an underground meme. You gave me free. Can you send them to me on Discord or email? I only saw one. Remember, like look at the chat app. It constantly crashes. You think I see every single chat? Look at how buggy it is. Like I read everything that's in front of me, but sometimes sometimes it just kind of fails. I mean, all tech is zesty, furry, and femboy. That's true. It's very true. There's something about like there's a massive overlap between smart people and that kind of stuff. And this is a tech community. That's true. Yes. Speak has Discord. I have a Discord for planning Based Academy episodes. I don't have an actual Discord. It's a Discord account, but I don't really use it. It's mostly just for like for doing podcast stuff. But yeah, Ed managed to find me. He hacked the Matrix, and he managed to find my account. But guys, I think we're just gonna end it here because there's been. I do want to play some Mass Effect, but we just have half an hour left, and it's not half an hour of gameplay wouldn't really be worth it. But I want to do an IRL soon. I haven't done one in a while. I have my setup. I have my IRL setup right here with the double phone thing. It's gonna be great. It's gonna be fantastic. Nivea X Femboy Farm soon. Chat is being cleared by anti-femboy censorship. I think so. I use the very secret femboy technique of thinking. Okay, good night, Papa. Sloppy forehead kiss. Okay, guys, if you've enjoyed today's stream, leave a 1 in the chat. Is the chat frozen now? Oh my god, it's literally frozen. It's fine. 1111691120137 111. Is this a task for counting? No, we're not gonna do that. 42-1. Stream is lagging. I think it's just the chat that's lagging. I love the state of software in 2026. Yes. But I know you enjoyed it, and Based Frog has given the meaning of life. Yes, see a bronze. Yeah, the bot is annoying. But guys, thank you so much. Thank you so much for joining. The name is Femboy Machine. See? Yay, I said it. See you in the business room. Goodbye. I think I got banned from Reddit. Femboy machine. Don't forget the email, I shan't. See you on the board's meeting. See ya.